Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Star Wars Headlines here at laughingplace.com. I'm the co-founder of Laughing Place. My name is Rebekah Mosley, and over there is our editorial director for Star Wars content, Mike Celestino. We're here to talk Star Wars. How's your week been, Mike?
Not too bad. Pretty nice, relaxing weekend, and getting ready to dive back in with some fun stuff coming up.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of reading, so I'm
Yes.
interested to hear about these various titles that you're going to be sharing with us today. But I guess we're going to start off in the world of the movies. So, and movie making its way back to theaters for a little bit.
Yeah, so I think in the interest of getting people refreshed on their knowledge of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, the movie that came out, what was it, 2016? So it's now 6 years old, and it's coming back to theaters. It's going to be in IMAX theaters on August 26th, which I believe is a Friday. So you can go and check it out. Limited engagement. I think it's one day only. Check your local listings. I just rewatched this movie, so I don't know if I'm gonna. I mean, it would be really cool to see it in the theater again. I never saw it. I don't know if it ever was released in IMAX before, but it would be cool to see it that way.
Now, it's also going to include what they're labeling an exclusive look at the Star Wars series Andor. I remember when fans were buying movie tickets so that they could see trailers to Star Wars films back in the day. So
Meet Joe Black.
Huh?
Meet Joe Black was the movie that had the Phantom Menace trailer in front of it, I believe.
So I remember some of that going on. Let's see. So yeah, it'll check fandango.com. We've got an article about it on Laughing Place, obviously, so you can read more about Rogue One's return to IMAX as we get ready for the September 21st 3-episode debut of Andor, which sounds like it's a little bit of a theatrical style timing for it as well. So yeah, I'm excited. Doobie wishes that they would do Rogue One back to back with A New Hope. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised they've never really done that. Even when they've done the marathons at like El Capitan Theater, they only show the main episodes. They've never included the Star Wars stories, anthology movies. So I don't know if that's ever been done back to back Rogue One, A New Hope in the theater, but it seems like a no-brainer. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Hey, Steven, how you doing? Oh, do we like it with like no break, none of the credits, just straight in?
Right.
This past weekend, actually, Doobie stopped the TV. That's my husband, Doobie. He stopped the TV on TNT while they were having one of those Star Wars marathons, and it was my favorite scene. And the TV just remained on that channel the rest of the day. Not gonna lie.
What was the scene?
And it's terrible too, because it's like full frame.
Oh, like, yeah.
With commercials.
Right.
The worst.
And you have Disney Plus, you know.
Right? But I didn't turn it. I stuck with it because it was right when, like, seriously, it was that moment when they've just broken Leia out of the prison cell, and she's got her rifle, and she smashes open that chute into the garbage.
Into the garbage chute, Flyboy.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. It was like just before she said that line, and nope, you can't turn it when that's on screen. Let's see. You read a book entitled Treasures from Batuu. Ooh, got it right there in hand.
Yeah, so it's kind of half reference book and half collection of little trinkets and stuff. So one of the cooler things that came with it is this like little buildable foam model of the food transport ship that you can see on the top of Docking Bay 7 in Galaxy's Edge. But then it's also got keychains, a couple keychains from, there's a Chewbacca keychain here. There's one that's got the First Order Stormtrooper. Let me see. It's kind of awkward to unfold this whole thing, but here you can see a First Order Stormtrooper keychain. Then there's probably one of my favorite things is this sticky pad of Post-it notes. It's got it's kind of like a Oga's Cantina coaster.
Oh.
These are all Post-it notes. So it's a bunch of little stuff like that comes in this book. And I think, it doesn't have any like real new information in here. It's all kind of a broad recap of what you'll see when you visit Galaxy's Edge, all the shops and stuff. But I think if you're into Galaxy's Edge collectibles, there's like a guide to Arabesh translator guide. That's cool. There's a map of Galaxy's Edge, kind of bird's eye view map, which is cool. Oh, the upside down like that. So just a bunch of neat little stuff like that. I think it's good for beginners, like if kids are maybe visiting Galaxy's Edge for the first time. There's a secret envelope in the back. I won't spoil what's in there, but it's a message from Vi Moradi, the Resistance spy. But yeah, it's just like a lot of neat little things. There's an example there. You can see a sample page of the info that you get. But it's basically, it's a basics guide to Galaxy's Edge, and comes with a lot of neat little, it's actually 15, I counted them, 15 different little collectibles like that. So I think it's, worth it if you're either really into Galaxy's Edge, or if you're, there's one of my cats with I wanted to show the size of the model with my cat there. Yeah.
So are you the type of fan, they had that pad of stickies with the coaster. Are you the type of fan who will actually use those and maybe hold on to one in the book? Or are you one of those fans who, nope, the whole pad will always stay there. They will not ever leave that book?
I hate to say it. Well, I have changed a bit over the years, because as, growing up, I was always like, if I got a sticker or something, I just kept it. It never got stuck on anything. But as I've gotten older, I realized, okay, how I'm going to preserve these stickers for the rest of my life. So I started using them like to decorate laptops or my bookshelf or something. So maybe I'm trying to like let go of stuff like that and be better about using it. Like if there was I wouldn't just use this for like shopping lists or something, but if there was a special reason to use the Oga's Cantina post-it notes, I might do that.
I suffer from that too, where I like have over the years been like, why do I still have this pad of sticky notes? I could like just one, I can save one, I can take a picture of one, that way I will always, have that. It's super cool. But like actually use them. Yeah.
Right.
So I was curious if this is so by the way, I'm looking at an envelope right over there that is filled with stickers. So, so I know of that too. You also checked out the title Star Wars Padawan by, I'm going to say, Kirsten White.
Yeah, so this came out a few weeks ago now, and I kind of missed it because I was reading and reviewing. Bob Newell says he puts stickers on his washing machine. That's cool.
That's a good place.
So I was reading the other novel that just came out, or is coming out. Well, what's today? Monday. Tomorrow, we're getting Princess and the Scoundrel. So I read that when this came out. So I missed it. So I went back and read this book for the first time, and then wrote my review. It's a young adult novel, and it focuses on a teenage Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he's actually going on his first mission, and he ends up going off by himself for reasons that I won't spoil. And the whole novel is about him really leaving Coruscant for the first time after he became Padawan, apprentice to Qui-Gon Jinn. And he goes off and he finds this planet that's populated only by like a handful of children and teenagers who all seem to have force powers. So that's kind of the mystery of this place that he finds. It's got a connection to the High Republic, which I wasn't expecting. I didn't know about that going in. So he's kind of investigating a mystery that dates back a couple hundred years to the High Republic era. But I enjoyed it. I think it's good reading for young adults and older people too.
Among the things that Mike wrote in his column that kind of piqued my interest with regards to this tale was he described it, and he said that he came out on the other side of the book feeling like he got to know Obi-Wan better. Yeah. And he said, considering that all the content, and I thought this was a great way to pull people in, Mike, was that you said, we just had that series, Obi-Wan, we just had Kenobi, and yet you finished this novel and you felt like you had got to know another aspect of his journey. And, that's a tall order after a what was it, 6-part, series that just concluded.
Well, I always prefer these Star Wars novels when there's only one like point of view character, if that makes sense. Like a lot of the High Republic novels, I've enjoyed them, but there's so many characters, and you're given like every other chapter is a different character's point of view. But this book, Padawan, is all from Obi-Wan's point of view, and you know, in a TV series, you get to see him in person in live action and stuff, but you don't really get inside his head like you would here. So it does give a lot more insight into Obi-Wan's thought process, especially when he's younger.
And in the comic book realm, number 5 in the Han Solo and Chewbacca series has arrived. How was this, Mike?
Yeah, I enjoyed this. We finally got the reveal. I don't even consider it a spoiler because I was so sure that it was going to happen. But there was this guy claiming to be Han Solo's father from the end of the first issue up until this one, number 5. There was this good dude basically saying he was Han's father, and I knew immediately. It's just this common trope in storytelling, and of course, it turned out not to be the case in this issue. But this was actually a really good issue. There's a lot going on. I really like when there's a lot of planet hopping and like variety of locations, and that's very true in this issue, and a lot of different characters. And yeah, I'm enjoying that title. And we found out, I think, that it's a 10-issue miniseries, so it's halfway over now, which is kind of sad. I would like to see an ongoing Han Solo comic book set in that period, especially if we're not going to get any more Solo content, from the younger Solo days, either in a TV show or a movie or anything like that. They should just fill all that in with the comics, I thought, because I'm enjoying this so far.
And so that's comic book. That's Marvel's Han Solo and Chewbacca. It's a Star Wars title, but it's published by Marvel Comics, and that's number 5. You can find that in your comic book shops, or if you're a Marvel Unlimited subscriber, you can wait a few months, and then it will appear magically on your app, or you can buy it right now, as I understand things. So
I wanted to comment on the Marvel Unlimited. My wife wanted to check out this comic called Jeff the Shark or something. You know about this?
No, I don't.
It's about Jeff the Land Shark or something like that, but it's only available on Marvel Unlimited. And he's
cool.
a shark that interacts with the Marvel superhero characters. So
that's where we need Mac to jump in, our Marvel Mac over here at Laughing Place to jump in the chat.
I asked him about it actually, and he recommended it. So we signed up for the free trial, and I was surfing through the app and looking at all the Star Wars stuff that's available, and they have so much. They have stuff dating, all the way back to the original Star Wars comic from the 70s.
Yep.
It's just, you could spend months and months just reading all the archive of Star Wars comics, but I always like the paper comics, so I can't really. It's Jeff. Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Okay.
So she really liked that comic.
Okay. I hit save to library. Yeah, you actually posted on your Twitter that you had picked up an omnibus of some Legends titles, and so I was looking on the app. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll find them here, and then I can read along. I can ask Mike my questions as I'm going through it. So
I'm getting really back into the Old Republic era of the Legends timeline, which it's like 5,000 years before the original trilogy in the timeline. And I bought that omnibus, which collects all the Knights of the Old Republic comic books. But then I remembered I had a pile of Tales of the Jedi comic books, which take place actually before those. So I was like, well, let me reread these first from my teenage years. They came out in the 90s. And then I'll go into these, the Knights of the Old Republic comics, which I've never read. And I had the big I should have brought it to show you. It's in the other room, but I have the big hardcover omnibus now with, I think it's like 55 issues or something. So it's like, it's going to take me a while to get through it because when I read comics, I go it takes me like a minute per panel to read a comic book because I'm really like looking at all the art and absorbing everything. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. And boy, I don't know. It's kind of a shame that they decanonized all that, but at the same time, it feels like this like kind of undiscovered treasure trove of content now, because these Knights of the Old Republic comics came out like 2009, I think they started, or something like that, maybe a little bit earlier, but it was during this period where I wasn't as into Star Wars, so I kind of missed out on them. So now I can go back and discover all that stuff for the first time. It's pretty exciting.
And I think to some extent, for me at least, my curiosity has been piqued because I'm noticing that some of the showrunners for Star Wars currently seem to be kind of picking little elements from those decanonized aspects of what we read and bringing them in or at least acknowledging them to the point where it's like, okay, so maybe these do still matter more than I thought, because it's hard, because I had read several of those. In fact, it was funny, a friend of mine posted on Twitter a picture of the old storefront from 1997, the little shop there at the exit of Star Tours in Tomorrowland, and they had the window display there, and it's so simple, and it was just a few of the books. And I've probably bought 3 or 4 of those extended universe titles in that little shop right there at the exit of Star Tours. And I can remember sitting on the People Mover reading some of Timothy Zahn's books.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, and I was talking about on Twitter, I saw there was a mention of the planet Ossus, Ossus, in the Tales of the Jedi comics. And that planet is now where Luke Skywalker built his Jedi Academy in the current canon. So they are picking things from the expanded universe to bring in. And then I think in the Shadow of the Sith novel recently, they mentioned Darth Revan. So now he's canon and stuff like that. So I don't know. I love Star Wars. And I don't know. There's this whole, I haven't read a bunch of the later period Legends novels either. So I have all that. I have the rest of my life to get through all that stuff.
Yeah, see, The Princess and the Scoundrel. Back when I was an annual pass holder, I would have been heading to Disneyland day and date of release of this, because I would have known I could get my annual pass discount, and that would have made the price rather competitive with the local bookseller. So I would have picked it up at Disneyland, and then I would have found some nice little shady spot, grabbed my favorite pastry from the bakery there on Main Street and my favorite cup of coffee, and done some Star Wars reading right there. Now I could have done it on Batuu. I mean, back then
I have read quite a bit on Batuu. I'm curious, when you're on the People Mover though, there's parts where you're like in the dark, right? So
yeah, you just wait. You just wait that out. I mean, it was a way to break it up periodically, because little known secret, my dad was studying at USC. He was finishing up his PhD, and in order to get the house to be quieter, he would take the family, and he and my mother would find a nice quiet spot at Disneyland where my father would do his PhD research right there, his reading, his writing of his thesis there at Disneyland. My mother would do her crossword puzzles, and all us kids would be playing at in the park because our apartment was small. And in order for him to have quiet, it was much easier to find quiet at Disneyland, of all things, rather than home. So I broke up some of the fun by reading on the People Mover every now and again. Let's see. Bounty Hunters, number 26, Raid on Vermilion.
Yeah, I remember I kept telling you, like, oh, there's this plot line that's been going since issue number 1 of Bounty Hunters, and now they're on 26, and I was like really hoping they would wrap it up, and they kind of did, but also kind of not.
Oh no.
So there's this girl named Catalaya who's the heir to 2 warring crime syndicates on Corellia, and then basically everybody wants her dead, and all the bounty hunters are either trying to capture her or kill her, or protect her in the case of Baylor Valence. And then his like mission gets co-opted by some of his friends, the other bounty hunters. Anyway, right now that girl is in captivity of Crimson Dawn, the other crime syndicate led by Han Solo's ex-girlfriend Kira, and all the bounty hunters show up on the planet Nal Hutta, the Hutt homeworld, where the Crimson Dawn flagship, the Vermilion, is parked, and they're trying to recapture Catalaya, this girl. So I won't spoil how this chapter ends, but it is kind of a little bit of a reset. So I believe my interpretation of it is we're going to be getting into a little bit more of like an episodic bounty hunting adventure type approach to this comic book, which I am looking forward to because that's what I've wanted. But it's in a different way than I had anticipated. So I did appreciate that about it. It was a very good issue. And I have been, I think this comic has definitely dramatically improved since it started a couple years ago. Yeah.
Well, hopefully it will move to that episodic, because I feel like you haven't gotten enough Bosk.
No, he's in it quite a bit, actually.
Okay.
He's pretty heavily featured now. So no complaints about, Bosk is pretty heavily featured in the comics, so no complaints.
Oh, good. Okay, because I haven't heard his name very much. So
he's right there in the bottom left.
I see he's there hiding in the corner. It was funny yesterday. Like I say, TNT was on, and I was busy doing things, and then at one point I look up. I'm like, oh, it's Bosk.
Yeah.
Ta-da! He was in this movie. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Star Wars Revelations. What can you tell us about this, Mike?
So I'm actually super excited about this. This is a one-shot comic book coming out in the fall. I think it's in November. And it's going to, what they said in the press release is like, it's going to contain hints about the direction that Star Wars comic books are going in the immediate future. So my guess is we're going to find out when the comics are going to catch up to Return of the Jedi, because right now most of the ongoing comics are set between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. We have one big crossover event left to happen in the fall. I think it starts in September. So that's called Hidden Empire. And I believe that's probably going to wrap up this period between Empire and Jedi. And I think this one-shot comic, which is called Revelations, is going to foreshadow what's going to happen next. Because I think, we got to get to the point. What disappointed me at the end of the previous run of Star Wars comics when they were approaching The Empire Strikes Back is that they didn't do, like, they kind of skipped over some stuff. Like, they didn't do, like, the whole moving into Hoth base or running into the bounty hunter on Ord Mantell. They kind of just got there. And I was like, well, what's the point of these comics if you're not going to tell all the stories that happened in between? What are you saving that for? It seemed like they were being unnecessarily, like, precious with that, those kinds of stories. So I'm hoping that they cover, like, how the whole plan to rescue Han at Jabba's palace, like, building up to that. I would like to see that before they get to post Return of the Jedi era.
And one of the story elements that they've highlighted will be a part of this Revelation one-off is a quest by Vader. Vader will be seeking this creature that is strong in the Force on Mustafar. It's called the Eye of Webbish Bog, apparently.
Yeah, so the Eye of Webbish Bog was actually written to be a part of the movie The Rise of Skywalker. He was going to give Kylo Ren that Sith Wayfinder to find Exegol, but he was cut out of the movie. But if you read the expanded edition novel actually, I don't think they ever released the comic book. I think it got canceled. But in, like, the audiobook and stuff, you can hear about the Eye of Webbish Bog. And then he's been in the comics a little bit too. So Darth Vader has actually seen him before in the comics on Mustafar. But he's going to be going back there. And I think that's the device by which we're going to find out kind of flash forwards into the future of Star Wars comics. Hi, Mike Farnham.
Very cool.
I'm really excited about that. I think I'm getting to the point. I mean, the previous run, I think, went for 75 issues or something like that. And we're only up to 25, 26 right now in the current run. But the time period between Empire and Jedi was always supposed to be shorter than the time period between A New Hope and Empire. So that was like 3 years, I think. And I think it's only 1 year between Empire and Jedi, because they keep saying Han Solo was frozen in carbonite for a year. In canon, they've talked about that. Like in the Princess and the Scoundrel novel, they keep saying, okay, he was in carbonite for 1 year. So it's pretty well established that it's 1 year between Empire and Jedi. So they have a smaller window of time to play with. So I think they're going to be wrapping up this period of storytelling pretty soon.
Very cool. And that's a one-off. It's called Revelations, and they debuted as the cover art. And we've got an image of that on Laughing Place. And recently, Disney Plus, I want to say it was last week, Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation hit Disney Plus. There's a new song from it called Scarif Beach Party. It has a video. Do you find this tune singable from Weird Al, Mike?
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know if it's been announced or revealed if he wrote it or if they just wrote it for him and he sang it. I would guess it's probably the latter because I don't think it's lyrically as interesting as a lot of the stuff that Weird Al has written himself, but it is a fun song and there's some fun jokes in it about where we know Scarif goes from here, the ultimate fate of Scarif later on in the timeline. Because in the Lego Summer Vacation special, Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine go for Empire Day. They visit the beach on Scarif, but it takes place between episodes 3 and 4. So before the events of Rogue One, before the Death Star shows up at Scarif. But yeah, it is a lot of fun.
Mike describes it as awesome. Juby and I watched it over the weekend. It was quite a lot of fun. It was
really, it is. Those Lego specials are pretty funny. Yeah.
And I do enjoy Weird Al, so it was nice to see him pop up because for many he is quite the I don't know, he's so entwined within our Star Wars experience now with his various parodies from the prequels. So
I saw him perform at Star Wars Celebration 2017 in Orlando. He was the headlining act at the 501st Legion Stormtrooper party. And I got front row center to watch him perform. He did like a half-hour set of songs and ended, of course, with The Saga Begins and Yoda for the Star Wars Celebration. Yeah, it was cool.
Mike says apparently there isn't a hidden Lego Lotico.
No.
Have to wait for the sequel to spot.
They need a long lead time on those animations, so they wouldn't have known about Lotico yet. Yeah.
School's back in session. If you're a Star Wars fan, we suggest you take a look at the items over from Erin Condren. They've got a number of designs for the Star Wars fan in your life. They also have these triangular pens, which I think are kind of nifty. They don't roll. They're kind of strange. I don't know. I'm unsure if I would be a triangular pen user. However, they do feature a nice Star Wars quote on them, and then a silhouette of various characters. So check that out. They have, like I say, numerous designs over there featuring both the light side and various Sith individuals too, or even bounty hunters. So if you are a Star Wars fan, check out Erin Condren. Also at Stony Clover Lane, we've gathered up a few of the Star Wars designs that they're showcasing over there for various lunchbox totes. And so Mike, would you have carried, I can't tell, is this something you would have carried when you went to school, or is it a little too feminine maybe for your taste? I know different people, different things.
Yeah.
Or not too cutesy for you?
I think cutesy is probably a better word. Yeah.
Too cutesy. Yeah. I really wish I could have had this green backpack when I was in school. I would have liked that. Although this cool light blue one with the adorable little Ewoks on it, I might have been for that. And then they also have patches as well if you are interested in decorating your clothes. I am such a fan of that Falcon design, Drew. I totally agree with you with the multicolor, and then they repeat that multicolor throughout various, and you can find that design on other items too. So be sure. And the neat thing about Condren is that cover can actually come off, even though it's a coil bound book. You wouldn't think so, but their covers are removable, and it's laminated so that on the interior there's an area where you can do dry erase notes. So you can use a dry erase pen and have little notes to yourself on there as well. So really fascinating design, like I say, with that interchangeable cover, even though it's coil bound. And yeah, I'm with you. $22, that's a lot for a patch, but hey, to each his own. I'm a fan of the scrunchie though. I almost pulled the price, but then
I would wear the scrunchie. I wouldn't carry the backpack, so I would wear the scrunchie.
You're a scrunchy person.
No,
okay, good to know. Good to know.
I don't have
no idea. $32 though, Mike. I'm a lose them too easily. I don't know that I
Okay.
could invest $32 in a scrunchie. I gotta
Okay.
admit, but it
Fair
is
enough.
cute. I think if I was going to an event, I could as an accessory pull that out of my budget. My colleague, I guess both of our colleagues, but
Yeah.
I partner with her a lot on Barely Necessities. Rebekah Burbank, she actually
And
was at
Drew Gergish will know her
C2.
from Antiquities as a Star Wars story, Star Wars
That's
Galactic
right.
Star Cruiser story.
That's right. You can find her on Antiquities, a Galactic Star Cruiser adventure. I will have to add a link to that in the bottom. If you haven't seen that, our very own Mike Celestino right there created an in-universe character that he then experienced the Halcyon Galactic Star Cruiser as that character and shared those adventures in a series that we have here on the Laughing Place YouTube channel. So I will put a link below if you haven't yet caught the adventures. It's called Antiquities. You can find it right here on this YouTube. It's a lot of fun. But Becca was at C2E2 and she took a picture. Have you ever done one of these, Mike? These pay and then $150 and then you take a picture with someone famous?
No, I've done when I was younger, I did a bunch of like signings. I would go and get books signed and stuff like that, either at Comic-Con or at a bookstore or something. But they were always like, if you bought the book, you get to go to the signing. I have never paid just for the photograph or signing or anything like that.
Well, she decided to give this a try, and it was to meet several, and I'm sorry, to take a picture with several of the individuals who were in Kenobi. I will let you identify them, Mike.
Well, I know the characters. I'm not going to remember the actor's name.
That works.
There's young Leia. There's the Sith Inquisitor. The what's his name?
Oh, see, I
Sith,
stumped you. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh boy. And then I'm not going to be good with that. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'll pull it up here. We've got.
Yeah, Reva, the third sister, Grand Inquisitor. Oh my God, I just blanked on that. I'm sorry, I was put on the spot.
Yeah, sorry.
Grand Inquisitor and Reva. Yeah.
There you go.
Moses Ingram.
So she did this photo op. She wrote about the experience. If you've ever considered one of these at a fan event or expo, check out her write-up of what it was like. I also want to highlight that Becca had made a few purchases prior to the event. So she got to show off her brand new Endor skirt poncho. This is actually right here is this poncho styled after Leia's look on Endor. And then, I'm going to say hi to Luke. Hi, Luke. How you doing? Hi, Mike. Oh, Mike's been around. I know Mike. But yeah, it's a poncho, but then it can also be a skirt. It's available from her universe. And she's also wearing her Leia pendant. Nice. It is part of that Kyber crystal collection from Rock Love that was a nice gift from our CEO to the two of us. It was very thoughtful of him to pick those up for us recently. So yeah, she got Leia, I got Luke. So there you have it. And finally, Mike, you have a new interview.
Yeah, so the last couple episodes of Who's the Boss, my Star Wars podcast, have been pretty fun. First, I did an interview with author Beth Revis, who just wrote that novel I was talking about earlier, The Princess and the Scoundrel, about Han Solo and Princess Leia's wedding and honeymoon in the current canon. Check out the interview, check out the novel. And then Drew Gergish, who was in the chat earlier, was my guest for the following episode about Star Wars The Last Jedi. So that was fun too. And this week I'm doing Solo, a Star Wars story, as I go through all the Disney era Star Wars films.
I think I'm warming up to this cover. I'm still not 100% on it, but I'm warming up.
Okay. Yeah, you didn't like the look on her face earlier. I remember.
No, I don't. The closed eye thing. I'm for whatever reason, I'm not about that. But it's okay. I am very much looking forward to this book. The date has snuck up on me.
Yes, tomorrow. It comes out tomorrow.
Carve out time tomorrow.
I read it like
So
almost a month ago, so I keep forgetting that it hasn't released yet, but it comes out tomorrow, and you should definitely pick it up and check it out. It's a lot of fun.
you used to watch it. No, you got to still watch it. There's plenty of stuff going on. I mean, come on. We're all counting down to Andor. So,
Andor,
yeah,
yeah.
tomorrow. I got to find time tomorrow, Mike. How am I going to find time tomorrow?
Wait, tomorrow for what?
For the book.
Oh, to read the
To
book. Yeah. Well, you
read.
don't have
I'm
to
not
read it
like
on day
you.
one.
You get to you get to read it, and I have to wait.
I'm just saying you don't have to read it immediately. You can get it and hold on to it until you have time. No?
I will never have time.
Okay.
Did you hear? So my husband comes in with Rebekah always closes her eyes while looking at me, to which Mike Farnham very kindly says, "Can you blame her?" Aw, I don't always close my eyes. I don't. But watching Return of the Jedi yesterday, like I was like, oh, I can't wait for this. I remember how much I loved the previous titles that have kind of built upon this relationship of Leia and Han after Return of the Jedi, and so I am super excited to get my hands on this title. I can't believe that it is tomorrow. So
We're in like the eye of the storm right now, and I feel like this novel releasing is really going to start the ball rolling on the rest of the year. Is going to be pretty exciting for Star Wars content, I think. So looking forward to it. You think we're going to get any big news out of D23 Expo?
why are you asking me? I should be asking you.
Well, what do I know?
You know more than me on it. Yes.
I mean, I know Lucasfilm has a presentation that I'll
so
be.
Therefore, yes.
Hopefully, I'll be there in the room for that. So we'll see. I'm hoping we get some announcements. I know. Oh, the other thing we could kind of touch on that I didn't put on the outline is there was another convention over the weekend in Boston. I forget what it was called, but I know like Ming-Na Wen was there doing a panel, a chat, and then like Anthony Daniels had a thing. I don't think he really said anything of newsworthy, and then Ewan McGregor was there also. But I think both Ming-Na Wen and Ewan McGregor hinted that we might get season 2 of both Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't think these were like official announcements or anything, but I know Ming-Na Wen was like, she was asked like what she's excited for next, and she was like, season 2 of Book of Boba Fett, and then she like backtracked a little bit and said, I hope they're going to announce it soon. So I don't know if she knows more than we do about that. And then Ewan McGregor was like saying that he hopes there's a season 2 of Obi-Wan, and I think that's probably the only thing holding them back from doing a season 2 of Obi-Wan is Ewan McGregor wanting to do it. So if he wants to do it, I'm guessing it will probably happen.
Yeah, see, I'm with Drew. I can't imagine they didn't save something for Star Wars related content for D23, but I'm expecting a lot of pep rally type excitement for because that's what I like to describe D23 as, the ultimate pep rally for Disney fans. But I'm expecting a bit of hype for this, because they were doing filming during Star Wars Celebration, so perhaps they can kind of give us a little bit more tease, a little bit more pump it up with some visuals, maybe a few costumes on display or something like that. So yeah, I'm excited for D23 as a Star Wars fan. I know that they had amazing stuff on display at Star Wars Celebration. I'm really hoping that some of that will make it to the expo, things like that Bantha, because it killed me seeing that video. I'm like, I want to see that in person so much.
That whole exhibit, the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett experience, I think it was called, but by Mike. But that was just amazing. The way that they had.
Wait, don't disappear.
Okay. Oh, there we go. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. You paused for a moment. You were talking about the Mandalorian exhibit.
Yeah, I was so impressed by the way they put that together, and the way you kind of walk through this winding hallway and then around the corner, and this whole giant room opened up to you, and it was just jam-packed full of physical things to look at and props and costumes and animatronics and stuff like that. If they should do that again for sure at D23 I mean, I don't know if they said it was all going back to the set, and maybe they're going to be shooting again, and they'll need it or whatever. But it was definitely a unique exhibit and worth the time to go visit that.
Yeah. I'm hoping, let's see, if I had to pick, I'll just narrow it down to 3. If I had to pick 3 things from that, I would like to see the Bantha. I would like to see the Stormtrooper helmets on the spikes.
Yeah.
And I would like to see Grogu waving in the cockpit.
Oh, that was fun.
Those are the 3 things. But as far as like from the rest of the world, I really am hoping we see Lola. I would like to see Lola in person. Of course, I'm eager to see the droid from Andor in person, which was featured at Comic-Con. So I'm hoping that just because it was there, maybe I'll get to see it. I love droids, so
yeah,
I'm hopeful for some droids at D23. So we'll see.
One of the other, just to real quick mention, one of the other really cool things that they had in that exhibit was, what they're doing right now for the volume is sometimes they'll build a physical set, but in miniature. Like, if you remember in The Mandalorian, when they go and pick up Bill Burr's character, Miggs Mayfeld, and he's like working in a New Republic prison camp, and he's like dismantling TIE fighters and stuff like that. They actually built that set. That set physically existed, but it was in miniature. So they can build it small now. You don't have to build the set big actual size. You build it in miniature, and then you scan it. They scan it into the computer, and the computer puts it up in the volume, projects it on the wall. So you can build a miniature set and put real actors in it. It's just this amazing technology. So they had that actual physical set there that you could see. I don't know if Jeremiah got it. I think he's the one who shot this video, but it was in the end as you're walking out. But yeah, such a cool exhibit. Definitely. There's IG-11, Kowakian monkey lizards. Well, I think you're muted, Rebekah.
Thank you, Mike. Sure. I was, because I was worried my video would play over you. So thanks for reminding me to unmute. But yeah, no, an amazing exhibit. You can see that right here on Laughing Place. We have a nice stroll through the exhibit. And of course, if something catches your eye, you can pause and take a look at it more carefully.
It's funny how that the hologram gets messed up by the difference in frame rate of the camera and the strobe effect or whatever. Yeah.
So as always, there's lots going on here at Laughing Place throughout the week because we cover all things under the Disney umbrella. And that includes Star Wars, Marvel, of course, the Disney theme parks. We've also got Disney Plus coverage. We also talked about National Geographic. Like I say, if it moves the needle on the Disney stock price, we're going to be talking about it here at Laughing Place. Thanks, Drew. I really appreciate that. That was the team, Mike and Jeremiah and Ben and Alex and Trisha. They did an incredible job of bringing the content. And then the team here under the guidance of Kyle and Rebekah, making sure to get that out there for everybody. It's quite a team effort here at Laughing Place. And I'm really privileged to work shoulder to shoulder with these people. They're amazing. And I wish we were all going to be at the expo together, but only some of us will be there and others will be working from offsite. But that's where we're really going to, we're going to be tested.
Yeah, the real test.
Right?
Is D23 Expo.
But throughout the day tomorrow, be sure to stop by this YouTube channel for information about the Disney company and follow us on Twitter. It's laughing_place. Obviously, hit subscribe here. If you enjoyed this video, we're here weekly with Star Wars headlines discussing what's going on in the world of Star Wars. You can hit that like button. We greatly appreciate it. It helps other people find us too. It helps that YouTube tell people that we're here. And I guess that's it for this week's Star Wars headlines. I will see you soon, Mike, I'm sure, because we'll be chatting all kinds of stuff throughout the week.
Yeah, so more stuff coming up.
Yep, that's it for today. And we will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.